Good afternoon. I'm 14 First Alert meteorologist Arden Gregory. You're going to hear about the 90s a lot over the next few days, but actually yesterday was the first day we hit 90 degrees at the Evansville Regional Airport. We had hit 89 a couple of times, but yesterday was our first official 90, and that's late in the year. Typically, we hit our first 90 sometime in May, maybe early June. On average, we hit it by May 31st, but it has happened as late as July 13th, so it's not, any sort of record-setting, anything like that, but it was just a little bit later than you would expect. But now we are going to more than make up for it because most of the next 7 days are going to be highs in the 90s. This is a live look at the Owensboro riverfront right now. Just a few fluffy clouds out there, mostly sunny. We've had kind of gradual clearing throughout the day today. We start to heat up tomorrow, then that heat really kicks into high gear over the weekend with triple-digit heat index values starting Saturday and continuing all the way through the middle of next week. Right now, we're actually seeing a very brief cool down. The cold front that moved through last night brought us thunderstorms and severe weather, but now that that's pushed off to the east, we're seeing a cooling trend across the entire Ohio Valley region, including right here at home. It's currently 8 degrees cooler in Evansville than it was at this same time yesterday. But if you look off to the northwest, notice Omaha, 12 degrees warmer than they were at this same time yesterday. So as this cooler air moves out, that hotter air you're seeing off to the west is going to move in, and our temperatures will quickly begin to ramp back up. I mentioned those thunderstorms that came through yesterday brought us some severe weather. There has been some damage reported in some parts of the tri-state, but all of that is off to the east now and bringing some severe weather to Virginia and West Virginia up into Maryland. Here at home, it's pretty dry. We had one little shower in Muhlenberg County earlier this afternoon that has now pushed off to the south toward Bowling Green, and it is mostly sunny across the tri-state. We may get a couple more of those very spotty showers, but it's a slim chance. Most of us will stay dry, and in general, we'll have lots of sunshine through the rest of this afternoon and evening with mostly clear skies then through the night and into the day tomorrow. And sunshine is really going to rule through most of the next 7 days, but it's also going to come with that big warm up. For today, the heat and humidity are not too bad. We're sitting in the low to mid 80s right now. It's 82 in Evansville and Owensboro. Our dew points are in the mid 60s in most locations. Keep in mind, yesterday our dew points were in the mid 70s. So yesterday we were just maxing out this muggy meter. Not quite that sticky out there today, but there is still some humidity. That's to be expected. It's summer in the tri-state, so dew points in the 60s is kind of par for the course this time of year. As we go through the rest of the afternoon, we may tack on a couple more degrees, topping out somewhere in the mid 80s. Then we'll slowly start to fall back through the 80s as we approach sunset, then back through the 70s overnight. By the end of the night, we're going to bottom out in the mid to upper 60s. Keep in mind, our dew points are also in the 60s. So if your temperature and your dew point are the same, that's where you get saturation and you end up with things like fog. So I don't think it'll be a widespread issue, but with mostly clear, calm conditions, temperatures in the 60s, it's possible we could get a few areas of patchy fog out there later tonight. Then tomorrow, lots of sunshine in the forecast, but notice our winds. Today, we've got kind of cool, dry air coming in from the northwest. Tomorrow our wind direction shifts and we start bringing warmer, more humid air in from the southwest, and that's going to push our temperatures into the upper 80s and low 90s tomorrow afternoon, and it just gets warmer from there. But you also have to factor in the humidity will be on the rise. So tomorrow, our heat index values will probably be just a few degrees warmer than the actual temperatures, feeling like the low to mid 90s. But then as we get into the weekend and early next week, that's where those heat index values start climbing into the low triple digits, and that's where that heat can sometimes become a problem. So this is a map of our heat risk. Now, when I say heat risk, I'm talking about when do we go from being hot to being dangerously hot, that risk of heat-related illnesses. So for today and even into tomorrow, our heat risk is minor. It's warm out there, but it's just kind of typical summertime humidity, nothing we can't handle. As we get into Saturday, notice we see that shift into the moderate heat risk, and then especially by Sunday, into a major heat risk situation there, where there's a major threat of heat-related illnesses if you don't take the proper precautions. And that's not a one-day risk either. We remain in that major heat risk through Sunday into Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. So from this weekend all the way through the middle of next week, we'll be keeping a very close eye on those temperatures and heat index values, as we'll be looking at highs in the low to mid 90s, but those heat index values into the triple digits. And this is actually very timely because tomorrow is the official start of summer. The summer solstice is tomorrow night, which also means tomorrow is the longest day of the year. So it's all downhill from here. Tomorrow is the longest day of the year. Then we very, very slowly start chipping away at it again. A couple weeks from now, it won't be real noticeable, but our days will be about 5 minutes shorter. Then by, July 20th, it'll be about 22 minutes shorter. And we just keep chipping away at it all the way until the shortest day of the year, which is December 21st. And on that day, we'll have 5 hours and 16 minutes less daylight than we're going to have tomorrow, with a sunrise at 7:02 a.m. and a sunset at 4:34 p.m. That just sounds brutal. Keep in mind that some of these times shift slightly because daylight saving time comes to an end on November 2nd. So we've got all that still to look forward to, but tomorrow is the summer solstice, and then we've got our first serious summer heat wave after that. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the forecast, but don't go anywhere. Jamie French and Robinson Miles will be right back with some of your latest news headlines.
Stay informed on your local news and weather throughout the day by watching the 14 First Alert streaming shows. At 8:30 a.m., get your First Alert forecast to plan the day ahead and catch up on the news that happened overnight with the 14 News Sunrise team. In the afternoon, get the latest headlines, forecasts, and a preview of the stories we're working on with the 14 First Alert streaming show at 2:30. And get an in-depth look at the 14 First Alert forecast so you're ready for the next big thing with the 14 First Alert weather show at 9 p.m. Watch the 14 First Alert streaming show that fits your schedule and works best for you. Streaming on your phone by downloading the 14 News app and the 14 First Alert weather app. On your smart TV by using the 14 News streaming app. And stream anytime on Facebook, YouTube, or on 14news.com. Stay connected and stay informed by watching the 14 First Alert streaming shows on your favorite streaming devices. Live from 14 News, this is a 14 Digital News Desk update.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us for our 2:30 streaming show. I'm Jamie French.
And I am Robinson Miles. Again, thank you for carving out a little bit of time. We know that our weather isn't quite as dramatic as it has been, but you 27 of us joining us right now are my favorite 27 people in the tri-state. Don't tell anybody. So we are going to start out a little bit actually talking about some of the weather that we had yesterday, because cleanup is underway following yesterday's storms. Now, parts of McLean, Muhlenberg, and Ohio counties were hit somewhat hard. Of course, you can see we do have some pictures from McLean County Judge Executive Curtis Dame.
Yeah, he says crews were out clearing the roads in Island and Sacramento. We know a lot of trees were down, but thankfully no injuries have been reported. At this point, power is getting restored to people. The numbers have been improving since last night. At last check, we were getting close to under 1,000 outages left there. So our Zariah Cole is in the area today. She is stopping by a lot of the places that you're seeing here in the pictures, talking to those people about what exactly happened and what went down and what they were feeling. Of course, it's got to be scary moments to hear a tree like that snap and fall on your house and things like that. So she will bring us the latest on the recovery efforts there and how people are managing there in McLean County tonight on 14 News.
Now, last night, this was something that we were really keeping a close eye on. We know that the storms had gone through that area. We didn't know exactly how much impact there was. About the time that we realized there was not a tornado, of course, we were really grateful, but we knew a lot of damage had been gone there. yay, no injuries, but it'll be great to have Zariah come back, give us a more clear idea of exactly what happened out there.
All right, now let's switch to some very exciting news. We have a reminder for you guys if you weren't aware. Tonight, 14 News is bringing you a special. It's called The Road to Victory.
All right, so this is going to be 6:30 on our main channel. Now, the point of this is that we're going to go in-depth on Tecumseh's softball state title and also preview the state title games for Mater Dei, North, and the Jasper baseball teams. Now, of course, all three of those teams have advanced to the IHSAA, most difficult acronym in the world, baseball state finals this weekend.
Yeah. All right. Let's break down a little bit of the schedule for any high school baseball fans out there. Of course, this all kicks off on Friday. Jasper will face Andrean in the Class 3A state championship game. That's at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Saturday in the Class 2A game, Mater Dei plays Boone Grove at 3:30 p.m. Central. Saturday, North will play Valparaiso in the 4A state championship game at 7 Central Time. All of the games will be played at Victory Field in Indianapolis. So join us for our special tonight. As you can see there on your screen, Max Parker got to sit down with a few of those players and their coaches from all four teams that we're talking about here, the state champ softball girls there, and then the three baseball teams headed to state. So he is going to give you an update on everything tonight about their journey. And of course, we are wishing them the best of luck this weekend.
Of course. Now, this is one of those things for those of you baseball fans out there, those who have an investment in these teams, this really will be a lot of fun because all of these big interviews that Max conducted with players and with coaches from these different schools, that came together within the past day or two. So this is going to be up-to-the-date knowledge. How are they feeling? What's it going to look like going into those big matchups tomorrow?
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure it's nerve-wracking, but we are certainly excited for all of our tri-state baseball teams who are at least getting there. I mean, that's an accomplishment in itself. So congratulations to them, and now good luck.
Really exciting thing. And it was cool that we actually got to get them in here. You know, a lot of times we feel like we're kind of celebrating from afar, but be able to actually get them in-house, talk to them a little bit about how they're feeling, and they're teenagers, so freak them out a little bit before they go to the big games. That's a huge win for everybody.
Absolutely. Of course, that is tonight at 6:30, so join us for 14 News at 6, and then keep it there so you can check out that special.
All right, perfect. So thank you for carving out a little bit of your afternoon to hang out with us here. Of course, not too many comments today, and I understand that. Most of the big questions are for our weather staff. They are the smart and important people. We just like to hang out and see what everybody has to say as well. So feel free to join us. We're going to keep doing these every day looking forward.
All right. Well, thanks for watching. Have a great afternoon.